Hello, my name's Rachel and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I will be comparing SIPP providers or self-invested personal pension providers. So I currently have my own SIPP which I'm looking to transfer to a different company, and my husband has asked me to set up his SIPP for him. So I wanted to sit down and do a bit of a comparison on fees, customer service, and then also the availability of different investments. I've been on the phone this morning to a couple of different SIPP providers just to clarify a few points to make sure that I'm giving you the right information. So hopefully if you're looking to start up your own self-invested personal pension, then this video might be helpful for you. As I said, I already have my own self-invested personal pension which I've had for around 18 months. If you want more information on what a self-invested personal pension is, then you can watch this video, because in this video I wanted to keep it to comparing the providers rather than going into a great detail on what a self-invested personal pension is. So let's get started with all important fees. Now obviously fees are very important, because if you end up choosing a provider that has high fees, that will obviously eat away at your investments and your potential pot of money that you're left with at the end. Also, if you do choose the wrong provider, sometimes you will have to pay an exit or transfer out fee to move on to a different provider. So if you can get it right the first time, then that can be really helpful. So what I've got to start with is a spreadsheet that includes all the different annual fees and any dealing charges that you might need to pay. And then what I've got is I've broken down final figures for what you would need to pay if you had, for example, a pot of £20,000 in your self-invested pension and you wanted to buy 2 shares or ETFs a year, and you also wanted to buy 2 funds a year. So that's exactly what I'm going to share with you today. If you do decide to go with a certain provider, it is important to go away and do your own research, because you might be a person who actually wants to buy shares regularly in your account, and you'll have to take into consideration the dealing fees if you're going to be buying shares more regularly than say 4 times a year. Or perhaps you only want to be investing in funds, and often funds have lower dealing fees than shares do. So coming in first of all with the lowest fees, we have Vanguard. So the annual service fee for Vanguard is 0.15%. So if you had a pot of £20,000 invested, those fees would come out at £30 a year. Then generally there is no dealing fee to be invested with Vanguard, so you wouldn't have to pay a dealing fee if you were to buy one of their ETFs or funds. So the overall cost would come in at £30 a year, which is great. The only thing I will say is when I spoke to them on the phone earlier today, they said if you wanted to buy an ETF at a live price, so if you wanted to buy it then and there rather than let them do the dealing for you, then the fee would be £7.50. So you're either looking at £30 as an annual charge for Vanguard, or £45 if you want to buy 2 ETFs live. Moving on now to the second cheapest provider that I've included in this video, and that is AJ Bell Invest. So their service fee is 0.25%, so on £20,000 that would be £50. The online dealing fee is £9.95 for a share or ETF, gilt or bond. Then the online dealing fee fund is just £1.50. So if we're looking at that example again, buying 2 funds, 2 ETFs, 1 annual fee, you're looking at £72.90 a year. Then moving on, we have Fidelity, 0.35% is their service fee. Then their fees for buying shares or ETFs is £10. Then there are no online dealing fees for buying a fund with Fidelity, bringing the overall cost to £90. Before I come on to the last 2 SIPP providers, I did want to say that obviously fees really do matter and they're very important, but they are not the be all and end all. The fact that you can buy investments that you actually want to buy is really important. Also, customer service is obviously very important when you're talking about something as important as your pension. Anyway, coming on now to number 4, we have Hargreaves Lansdown, which has a service fee of 0.45%. So the service fee on 20k would be £90 a year. And then the online fee for buying shares is £11.95, and there is no online dealing fee for buying funds. So your overall cost would be £113.90. So coming now to my last option, which is Freetrade. So Freetrade are very new to the self-invested personal pension market, and they just have a flat fee of £9.99 a month. So you can trade as much as you want for that for free. You don't have to pay those dealing fees. So overall, the cost on 20k would be £119.88, which is basically just 12 times £9.99. Obviously, this fee would be the same if you had more invested as well, because it is not a percentage charge, it's just a one-off fee of £9.99 a month. Overall, the fees for that option are coming in at £119.88, which is the most expensive. However, you can trade more freely there because you are not paying those dealing fees. So if you're someone who wants to be regularly buying and selling within your SIPP, which is not something I personally choose to do, but if you are someone that wants to do that, then this could be an option for you. So I have got accounts with a few of these different companies, and then I've also had some experience of using the customer service for some of these companies as well. And I'm just going to basically go through them in order. So go through them from that lowest price one, Vanguard, all the way down to Freetrade, and talk through some points that I think are important for each of these SIPP providers. Obviously, I don't want this video to be too long or get boring, so I'll run through things very quickly, and then hopefully it gives you a starting point to go away and do your own research. So Vanguard, as I said, has the lowest fees, which is absolutely excellent. They are also a really good beginner-friendly platform if you're going to open your self-invested personal pension. What's really good about Vanguard is they don't have an overwhelming amount of funds, trusts and ETFs available. It's a very small selection available. So you can see here that they only have 76 funds available, which is a very, very small selection compared to some of the other providers. For me personally, this was the reason that I decided not to go with a Vanguard self-invested personal pension, because I really, really like to have the choice. And there's certain funds, trusts and ETFs that I really enjoy investing in and that have done very, very well for me that are not included in the Vanguard platform, because obviously with Vanguard, you can only buy their Vanguard investments. So what's really good about Vanguard is they do have some really simple plug and play options, so you can really get started on investing very quickly. So for example, let's say you've opened up your Vanguard SIPP, you want to retire in 2045, there is a fund for that. So the Target Retirement 2045 fund is what you could potentially select. It has the right mix of equity and bonds available in that, so it's got 79% equities, 21% bonds. You can have a look at its performance and see if it's something that you feel comfortable investing in. As I said, for me, I prefer to go away and do a bit more research and invest in lots and lots of different funds, ETFs and trusts. So for me, at the moment, Vanguard isn't the right choice for me, but it is a really simple, user-friendly website. It has some fantastic reviews, and those low fees cannot be ignored. So it might be worth you having a look at Vanguard as an option, particularly if you're just starting out with investing. So the next option I'm going to talk you through is AJ Bell. So I actually have at the moment my self-invested personal pension with Barclays Smart Investor. Barclays Smart Investor actually use AJ Bell to administer their pensions or their self-invested personal pensions. So I am essentially already with AJ Bell. I called them about a couple of things this morning and they picked up within one ring, which I thought was fantastic. Really good customer service. They really knew what they were talking about. So that was really, really good. What I like about AJ Bell, first of all, is these low fees. So at just 0.25% a year, that's really, really good. And then those online dealing fees for shares at £9.95 and then just £1.50 for a fund. Really, really good as well. So very positive, particularly if you're looking at investing in lots of different funds, which is what I do because the dealing fee is just £1.50. So for AJ Bell, what I really like most is the wide variety of investments that are available. So what can I invest in with an AJ Bell You Invest SIPP? You can choose from more than 2,000 funds, shares in the UK and 24 international markets, as well as investment trusts, ETFs, corporate bonds and gilts. So you have got a wide variety of options available on AJ Bell You Invest. So for me personally, I have decided to transfer my Barclays Smart Investor SIPP over to AJ Bell simply because I was paying an admin fee to AJ Bell to hold it with Barclays, which was overall making it a bit more expensive. So I really want to benefit from the low fees and will probably be transferring my own personal SIPP to AJ Bell. So moving on now to Fidelity. Fidelity is another fantastic, well-established company. Their fees are right smack bang there in the middle at 0.35% a year. I personally have a Fidelity ISA. I have a stocks and shares ISA with them, and I use the app frequently to look at that and have been very, very pleased with it. They have a huge array of ETFs and funds available, so you've basically got a huge amount of choice. So you are not limited to having to invest in specific investments, so that's a real positive. In all honesty, I haven't really had to use the customer service at Fidelity very frequently because I have found their app to be really, really useful, and setting up my stocks and shares ISA with them this year was very, very easy, so I haven't had to use their customer service. However, just having a quick look on Trustpilot, they're rated 4.1 out of 5. Overall, 52% of people have given them an excellent score. So as I said, I'm sure their customer service is good, but I haven't had a personal experience of it recently. Moving on now to Hargreaves Lansdown, who are often a really popular choice for self-invested personal pensions. I have my children's junior ISAs with Hargreaves Lansdown. I find their app to be absolutely fantastic. I find the variety of investments available to be absolutely fantastic too. Their website is very, very good for doing research if you want to go away and have a look at the different investments that are available, have a look at things like past performance. Their app is also very strong and very user-friendly as well. So their fees are on the higher end at 0.45%. So it is one of the more expensive platforms. So Hargreaves Lansdown is obviously a really well-established company. They opened up in 1981 here in the UK, founded by Peter Hargreaves and Stephen Lansdown. So they might still be worth you looking at for your self-invested personal pension. Now moving on to my last option, which is Freetrade. So Freetrade is fairly new to the self-invested personal pension market. They only started providing SIPPs this year, so it's very new. Obviously, as you can see, that pricing structure that they have there is quite different. So a $9.99 monthly fee rather than a percentage fee. So that's a really interesting way of structuring their pricing. For me personally, at the moment, I'm a big fan of Freetrade, and I have one of their general investing accounts to buy individual stocks and shares, which I really enjoy doing. The app is super user-friendly. It's very, very easy to use. You can buy fractional shares on there in a similar way that you can buy fractional shares in your SIPP with Freetrade, which is a real bonus. For me personally, I'm not going to be opening my SIPP with Freetrade at the moment, and that's not because I don't think that the app is brilliant. It is simply because they don't have some of the investments that I like to invest in. So you'll know if you've seen my channel before that I do invest in actively managed funds, trusts, and then also ETFs. But on Freetrade, the actively managed funds I like to invest in are not available at present. So for example, I have been investing in Baillie Gifford Positive Change, which is not available on the Freetrade app at the moment. So if you are looking to open a SIPP with Freetrade, then it might be worth having a look and just checking whether all of the investments that you want to make are available on Freetrade before opening up a SIPP with them. I think this could be a really, really good SIPP if you are the kind of person that is trading individual stocks and shares or trusts and ETFs very, very regularly, and that is how you want to structure your SIPP. For me personally, I like to invest in funds, trusts and ETFs, and then pretty much leave them there for the long term. I'm not dealing on a regular basis, but if you are that kind of investor and that's how you want to invest for your SIPP, then Freetrade might be a good option for you. So overall, my final decision is that I think I will be transferring my Barclays Smart Investor SIPP over to AJ Bell, just so I can avoid those admin fees that I was actually paying to AJ Bell anyway, and go direct with them. And I think for my husband as well, it probably makes the most sense to move a couple of his old workplace pensions into AJ Bell as well, and that'll be nice as well because we'll both have the same pension provider, which makes things nice and easy as well. I do think, as I said, Vanguard is a fantastic choice if you are very interested in low fees and very simple, easy investing, so that might be worth going away and having a look at. And actually, I think that all of the companies included in this video provide a really good service for self-invested personal pensions. It is amazing that we've moved so far with pensions now, and we are able to invest in our own pensions, and it's so easy that some of it can be done with an app. So it's really exciting. If you're looking to set up your SIPP for the first time, I wish you all the very best with it. I hope you found this video useful. Any questions, always pop them in the comments down below. I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not an expert, I'm just a DIY investor doing it for myself. So I will try and help you in the comments down below, or refer you to someone who can help you more. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Bye bye.